thank you again. Another beautiful Sunday, and it is the 25th of October, 2020. As usual, Mina Fadima, I don't come to again with another edition of Social Media Review. Social Media Review, waiting hot on social media, waiting to make noise on social media. We choose some things them and decide for Rob Motpana, make una join we all can talk on the issues of Sierra Leone, how for bring the change that we all want to see, and how for help for push the country go before. And today I get a very, very, very special person with me, and he's a familiar face on VOS. If some people then go member, we don't taste more with VOS. And Mr. Victor Mengot, he can't tell him a small but himself. He's a man that is very familiar with the parliaments in England and what thing they happen there, because that's what we're bringing today. Because one of the topics we're going to talk about, we'll talk about the problem in parliament right now, where Honorable Hindolo gave out, talk say they don't suspend them and then they punish them, and we read the audio, we go talk on that the way we can to them. Also, I get on the phone with me, Madam Mata Musa, when I in the England general manager in London, where for VOS, instead day with me for join for help. But today we not get Mr. Shilon and Professor Kutubu with me today, now Mr. Shilon in birthday. So he decided in family one treat him with a wish him happy birthday, and we wish him many, many more years to come. And may God bless him, may God keep him with good health. Because it continue for putting voice to the change and to the good things then for push Salone go before. So let God bless them. We bless them and we wish them from the VOS family. We say happy birthday, Lawyer Shilon, Mr. Mohammed Shilon, happy birthday. And as usual, again, we not forget God. We tell God thank you, because I missed all the stuff that's going on. I missed the pandemic. I missed the craziness, the madness of the world. We see Africa, West Africa on fire. We see the balls of fire. We see everything is erupting, and it looks like the world is coming to an end. It looks like the place, everybody is mad, everybody is upset. But there's still love, there's still good people around, but people are hurting, people are speaking out with protests all over West Africa. If 10 days we go up much by all that day, we bring them, waiting we the Salone people then get for worry about. Because with the yeri on social media, the noise is too much. With the yeri, the propaganda, with the yeri, waiting at true, waiting at false, it's up to you for able shift. But some people not get the sense enough. They not get the mind enough for able for shift, because some people waiting and tell them once that somebody where they are the same group, the same clan, even if they mislead them, it will still feel say not true. So I bring me people them made and tell I do. I will go first with we guest Mr. Victor, where like I say in our familiar voice, a very, very knowledgeable man, wise man. He can join me today. So, Mr. Victor, just give yourself a small introduction and tell the people in a small bit what you say, sir.
Well, my name is Victor Mengot. Although my background is transport, but I've don't get the opportunity for work at the British Parliament. And for 4 years, as a committee specialist, we meet with me say, now we help the member them for understand how to scrutinize government's department. Then after that, I do another 4 years at the upper house in the House of Lords, where I work as a researcher for one of the members of the Lord and a particular political party where I not going to name there. So, and the parallel what I draw is because most of we standing orders in Sierra Leone and the parliament procedures and proceedings in Sierra Leone is based on the British system. And at the same standing order them, we use, although slightly modified. So I will sort of look at the parents' parliament, how then they deal with these issues, the way we can discuss tonight, and give example of my own experience.
And to you, Madam Martha.
Well, hello everybody. I'm here again today, and I'm glad for they so for can discuss issues, social media issues regarding Sierra Leone and other countries around the world, and looking forward to a very interesting conversation this evening. Thank you, Madam Fadima.
Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you. Maybe people want to share, on a call on our friends, call people. Let's come discuss because these are important issues. Anything where they deal with, where you they deal with, when an issue concerning you, you get for be concerned because we cannot go say, oh, I don't care, oh, ain't nothing gonna change. Because if we want to see the change, we get for be part of the change. And change comes when the people say, I have had enough. When we respect ourselves, when we value ourselves, we go get the change what we deserve and then go treat we the way we're supposed to be treated. But before we go to all that stuff there where they happen, so let we go first on the coronavirus issue because the corona, like we say, corona day, it don't come from the beginning of 2020. 2020 as a year of uncertainties, the year of where we see the world shut down, every big giant, the small ones, the big, everybody come at their knees and bow to corona because corona was just unknown virus we come and now they try for fet and people are still dying. And Sierra Leone is no exception because we see right now, as of yesterday, according to the Minister of Information in their website, as of yesterday, Saturday, the 24th of October, 2020, they update what they put up, 74 people don't die of coronavirus. 74 people don't die of coronavirus in Salone. And as of now, we get 2 new cases that we don't add to all the case them. And the total confirmed case of people that we get coronavirus are 2,345 people that we get coronavirus. Coronavirus is real. You might say, yes, maybe God bless the continent of Africa. We know they die and for don't like how then they for them that part of the world they are what we day. But coronavirus day and let we try for adhere to the information them and the instruction them what the people where they before for this fete here they give it because you don't want for let you person die. Salone people then don't die then I say all day. And as a matter of fact, we get a sister, one of a young lady where they fed for in life, it don't day over 1 month now in coma, they fed for in life for this same coronavirus. So coronavirus is real. It has hit many homes. So we they pray for God, forgive them the strength, and we they pray for God, let God keep this away from we where they. Because I traveled last week on the plane. We cannot be scared. We get for just do by waiting and say. Do the things that they say. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't for Boku touch. Wear your mask on the plane. You get for wear your mask mandatorily. It's a mandatory thing. You wear your mask and cover your face and your mouth and your nose. Then I put another protection. I put a shield on top of my face, to protect me, from, I don't want to get anything going inside my eye or any stuff like that. But life has to go on. I miss the corona we get for leave. People are stressed out. Homes, families are killing each other. People and they commit suicide. The stress, people have lost their livelihood. But life must go on and do what you're supposed to do. You do one for me, myself do one for you, and life go on. Life has to happen. Nothing not get for stop life. We still the breathe, we still the live. The one that we don't die, let God comforts the people them, and the one that we're sick and we they let God keep we. So for that side there, we don't done. I don't know if any of you get anything for add to corona. Before we go to another issue that I saw on the social media, anybody gets any updates where they were they want put on corona if Madam Martha or Mr. Victor. If nobody not gets, let we go to the next nobody not get nothing for add to corona. But let's go to the next thing I want to talk about what I see on social media. These are small things, but they're big things to me because we get for recognize where people that they do good and we get for recognize and give them the kudos. And I see the mayor of Freetown, Mayor Akisoya, worship, he put out a public service announcement because global warming is real. And all them dirty them and all the debris that we put in the ocean, the weather changes, the environment changes, all the pollution. And one of them are trash. So the mayor put out a public service announcement. They appeal to people them. When I not throw away, when don't see them, who sign up for throw away them. They get points them. They don't put system in place. Let people they use the system there. When I we tell we people them because it's gonna affect you, who say you there, plus the other person on the other side of the world. Because if we get bad winter in America, the Atlantic Ocean, it begin there for how the weather, the tongue, how the storm they make, how the stuff, it affects climate change in different parts of the world. So it's in our all world, now we try for keep and clean, keep and safe, and we they do so much pollution, now we try for cut down on pollution. So when I listen to what in the mayor say, and when I pass on to when I fumble them, let we pass on to we people them, let we pass on to we fumble them, because climate change is for real and it affect we and we generation to come and the world where they live. So when I listen to the mayor, please.
Okay. Fumble them. This is not even like it's a mayor of Freetown. Today we dinner here with EU, we clean the beach. But I want to show you something. You see that thing here? Like this brush, this rest bag. So they under then there, then it can at the beach, because we una eat dirty na water side, una eat dirty na gutter, where the dirty go inside the beach. In fact, some people, the man where they by the seaside, not directly inside the water side now na the ibam. But well una no say where una iba yonder, the water side they can't give them back. That's why they give them. So we want to let everybody sign up with first way they can collect them dirty, then tricycle them. Una call 075 434 012 075 434 012. We get WhatsApp. Una can go www.findmeinfreetown.com. We person collect you dirty, you put them at the correct place. It's the water not go bring and can't give it back. Una thank you.
Now you give me people them when allow try for keep your city clean, because not because you poor means you know for keep your environment clean. Then you say I like now one clothes you get, what's I like clean, you wait you dry wear and back, make yourself you not get for live pan dirty because you poor. We get for land for clean, because we the tender where women they grow up, city council but they can't spray the treats. The water na gutter, you know they see that boku get up, you go all man they clean here, they get in the inside to himself, he put outside for put and for let them can clean. So now let we land down, they let pass on to people, they let them keep the environment clean, because global warming are real, it is gonna affect us with a sick dysentery, diarrhea, where then thing the cholera, where then thing they come, where person die, they don't know thing kill and they say now which man, now then dirty they kill we, then dirty they kill. Na dirty na we which man the way they kill, but we can say na people the way we don't know what to do them. When they get them sick them, they say, oh na dirty na which man nothing up in do I just make so all them things and then they kill out keep environment. Cleanliness is next to godliness. We allow land for clean. I don't know if my people and my panelists then get anything for add to what in the mayor don't say for that about that. Anybody get anything for add to the public service announcement what you hear the mayor say?
Well, the only thing to say, this announcement with the mayor make a good thing. And as you said, we say, the one problem we'll get in Freetown now because of the overpopulation. I mean, the 10-way city council been send their sanitary inspector. Then go na then different hosts them. Not been get too much people the way they around. Also, all man be not say, you get for clean, you got up before you. You know they wait for government for cleaner. You go clean your gutter, because that gutter if you settle dirty they now they bring malaria. And if we go back to history, and that same malaria then I make sure they been all Freetown the white man's grave. Where we colonial master them in they make sure say them pass this sanitary act where they mean get people sanitary inspector them when they go around. But we don't boku now. So now we your responsibility, every citizen. Or make sure say you throw it dirty, because they don't do well. Whichever can go through it, they will be forced. Even the youth there where they can visit me in a house and assist them and they do a good work with them tricycle here. So Lord support them. Lord make sure say we keep Freetown clean.
Thank you. That was a good one. That's a good one. Thank you, sir. Madam Martha, I think if you want to say something.
Yes, I just say no more. You know, the mayor they do a great job, and I hope say the the political parties them, they support the mayor in drive for keep the country clean, because when you get a cleaning, monthly cleaning, when they do, we don't see before how you see some issues between the mayor and the local government people them, you know. So when the mayor they reach out for make sure say this country clean, not for himself but not for everybody, and I'm also for the people who live now deplorable conditions them. I hope say the woman in drive is not suffocated by those who are in power. Then I don't know I want for add.
Thank you so much, Madam Martha. Another one who I see at Twitter where I kind of encourage, I just want, share. I want show that the Minister of Primary Education, that the David Senge, Dr. Senge put out a tweet when he put out say gonna Matora Girls School. Matora Girls School na the north today, and they say na one of the boarding school, then one of the government school they wait no more now na get boarding school na Freetown border, what they call border. Where they say picking them in the border. I don't say we depend on where they grow up. Madam Mata can attest to that, and Mr. Victor. We been get boarding in school them because them picking them where them people then they upline, but where them pass and get high grade for Canada, then good school then a Freetown. Where they don't get family then a Freetown, they keep put in a border. Some of we self where we been there in a Freetown, where we people live. Hello, waka na street boku, then put some of people that border. So, but the school been there as a second home for the picking them. But this is the only school now, and then they try for see what in they do. But why I bring this picture up is because this is a young man. In as much as some people have put out negative team them about him, but this is a young man that I believe in, and I think he is going out there. When you go out there, you want for know but waiting to happen, you get for force and be on the ground, boots on the ground. When you're on the ground, you experience the problem, you listen to the people, you have conversation, then you go able to see who side change for day and what you have for do. Because when you understand the people, then empathy comes in, then love comes in, then the change will come. Because we all know that the conditions of school, they're not in good condition. And I look at the beginning, I see they're not even iron their uniform them, and that kind of touched me too, because I was like, okay, if you portray, like I just said, you get for keep yourself nice. No matter what you pour, take pride in yourself, take pride in making yourself look good, because first impression of life goes a long way. Now, first impression, they make good things and they happen to people then. Because people, we have this thing, is perception, and perception is reality. And people not the one for know you heart right away. Then first of all, they look your appearance. So we begin to get for land, for take care of themselves, regardless of what situation, you have to present yourself nice. But then that's where some people go say, oh, well, they don't get money set for buy coal or whatever, or goose or something, they don't get iron. But that is the environment we get for teach, we're picking them, for let them take care of themselves, let them groom themselves well. But to kudos to the minister, David Senge, Monina Senge, where, he do this for it. I don't go now many other schools them where, that they do then thing here. They try for go there for know what's in happen for try, because we need the change. President Bill said free education, but the free education, it is not all about let people go school free. They get forget environment where they go able to land. They get forget conducive environment. I talked to one me friend in Pekin. He passed for go convent. Convent is my my school where I go, and he said 50 Pekin at one class. Convent all guys they try for change. For they make to one shift, like we grammar school don't lead the way for making to one shift, 50 picking in one school. And if you not go to class, they will take you bench and go on a one waste the day, all them thing then they get for improve on them, for bring the picking up to speed, computer and classes, they get for do all them thing then they. So we all they help the government. We not say with people they all they help the government for make the change. Because if you not get any information on our send to the Minister of Education, una tweet them, una send a 9 page, una send a private message, because sometimes people listen to you more when you talk to them one-on-one than where we can go out there on social media sometimes for bombard them, because we still they bombard them, but they bombard them with love for let them do the right thing for the people and for make them. So I don't know if any of una gets anything before we go to the main topic for today. But what you wanna see the school picking them to our guys too. Anybody hear anything? Okay, I guess we don't have nothing to say about the education, but that's when we see good, we therefore put the good out there. When we see bad, we therefore talk about the bad, and now we therefore can talk about the bad. I get 2 audio them where we therefore listen to. Well, I set the stage for we first. Couple of about a month ago, we heard an interview on BBC where one of the parliamentarians they put out there, Mr. Indolo Geval, they put out there, say, parliamentarian and corrupt, Salone at the second parliament, at the second corrupt place in the country. And then they not sit well with parliament, the speaker, and all the committee member there, whatever. Then there's here again, we hear Mr. Geval don't put out an audio. They don't suspend them, they don't do this, and we go can listen for we self with we own yes. Then una go tell we how una feel because me no want inject me own opinion onto now all the time. But then we hear waiting and say, and then we get experts there we know but how the parliament they work, like Mr. Victor and then Madam Martha get waiting and call on law. Now we see how then here they work, if they do the right thing, if not the right step then take, because there is a procedure to anything. People are gonna be disciplined if they go above the law. But this man he claimed for speaking opinion, and now the parliament is holding him. According to the parliament, there was an hearing set, and 3 others, according to them, and 2 of them were stripped of their honorable-ship. Does the Speaker of the House have that right to do all that stuff? Is the law of the parliament in Sierra Leone, if he allowed that to happen, and if we as people or parliamentarians then get right for speak, because we see with Honorable Tawa, he resigned because then he said and they're not able to gain the freedom for they able doing work right. So he take himself out of that. Now we don't hear this one, then call a committee and then suspend them or whatever I say, or the other one them, they therefore punish them, whatever punishment, we go here and cry. And let we talk as Sierra Leoneans, because this nothing where we all for be concerned, this nothing where we all for be worried, because anything where they affect one Sierra Leonean, it affect every Sierra Leonean, because it will not be on your feet right now, but down the line it rolls down. They say stuff roll down from the top. So let we listen to the audio them. Then I go bring Mr. Victor in. Let Mr. Victor talk small, we go ask question them, and then the phone line will be open. Well, let we talk on this issue because it is very serious and a Salone issue. So let we go the video, the first video, and then the second one. Thank you very much.
The position, the more pervasive the graft. Ibrahim Tommy is the head of Carl.
The people who we surveyed told us that there are 4 very corrupt institutions in the country: the police, public health institutions, public schools, and parliament.
What did they tell you about the reason for them perceiving parliaments to be this corrupt?
We believe it's because of their levels of interactions with these institutions. They see parliamentarians, they see their lifestyle before they got elected into office. People go for confirmation hearings in parliament. People go for budget hearings. So the interactions between public officers and what these public officers tell their people, we believe informed the views of the people who we surveyed.
In a rare interview, Speaker of Parliament Dr. Abbas Bondo vehemently dismisses the allegations, saying he feels embarrassed by them.
Honestly, I received the information with utter astonishment, because I do know, as head of the institution, that Parliament cannot, by any stretch of the imagination, be described as corrupt, let alone the second most corrupt institution in this country.
They spoke to thousands of people, and I have personally spoken to many people who've come before Parliament, either for confirmation hearings or to place a bill in Parliament, who said that they were asked for money before Parliament would do that.
Again, I cannot say we have any verifiable evidence to that effect. If that practice is taking place, we will certainly try to bring that to a halt. At the same time, as I said earlier, I regard this as an open invitation for self introspection by Parliament and parliamentarians. And that is a matter that I'll be looking into very censoriously when we resume sittings.
Despite that denial by the Speaker, many MPs across the political divide have told me that yes, they do ask for money, and yes, they do get given money. They would not be recorded, but outspoken ruling party MP Hindolo Ngevao did agree to be taped.
It behoves you to be very honest and say the truth. So I cannot shy away from the fact that there is corruption in Parliament. People that have been nominated by the President to go to Parliament for approval.
And I understand that even when pieces of legislation are taken to Parliament, for such to go through, there should be some bribe, call it that.
I know for sure for pre-legislative hearing, yes, line ministries do come with monies that is being given to parliamentarians that attend. It's still public knowledge that during budget hearing, we parliamentarians do ask line ministries to bring forth monies before we could hear them, or if they don't come with monies, we will withhold their budget and the like. These are things that we parliamentarians really do in a very covert manner, dealing with the clerk who we deal with the member of parliament.
Someone who heads a public enterprise has told me that he feels like resigning his job because he feels harassed by MPs. Another says Parliament summons him unnecessarily frequently as a way to harass him because he has allegedly refused to give them money. The belief of many here is that if Parliament is not fixed, not least in the fight against corruption, society will remain broken.
And that's Umaru Fofana.
Good afternoon. I am sending this message because you actually asked for it as Commissioner of Human Rights. Commission, because I am a member of Parliament and I know your commission is a democratic institution. That is why I have decided to send you a voice message. I could have typed a message, but I am not in the right frame of mind because of what has happened today. As you might have heard, we went to Parliament today and a motion was moved for myself, Honorable Hindolo Ngevao, and 3 others to be referred to the Ethics Committee. The charge levied against me was that I expressed my opinion on BBC that Parliament is corrupt. To that, I have no regrets. To that, I have no remorse. I did say so, and I stand by my statement that it is my view and perception, or it's my opinion, that there is corruption in Parliament. I will not change this statement for anyone. Because of that, in the motion, the House agreed that one of my functions as a member of Parliament be stripped of me. As a member of Parliament, it is one of my functions to provide oversight over ministries, departments, and agencies. That function was taken away from me today. In their words, they suspended me from all committees. If I am not a committee member, there is no way I can perform oversight function. So even though it was not the Speaker, even though it is not my colleague members of Parliament who elected me, it was the people of Sierra Leone who elected me, they have taken upon themselves, without going to the court, to strip me of one of my constitutional functions that I perform in the House of Parliament. The effect of that is the people of my constituency now stand to lose of having their representative from performing one of the 3 functions for which they voted him in the House. Added to that, before I aired my view on the BBC, I was chairman of the Human Rights Committee. The leadership of Parliament decided today to remove me also from the position as chairman of the Legislative Committee. But what really caught my eyes and really shocked me was when the Speaker derobed 2 colleagues in Parliament, those two colleagues were referred to the Committee of Privileges together with me of their title of being called honorable. That really shocked me. I don't know whether it's a constitutional power bestowed upon him, but I also saw that one today. For all that has happened, I am relying upon God to fight a battle I call mine. If for speaking the truth that there's corruption in parliament, this nation will sit by and see people punish me, I sit and await God to fight for me. I know for sure that 20% of the elitist population in this country has suffered in the hands of parliament with regards graft. But for fear, nobody is ready to talk, nobody is ready to stand up to my defense. I don't rely on mortal man, I rely upon God. The God that created me, the God who said one should not lie, the God who made me take that oath in parliament and for which I decided to be honest, that God will definitely fight this battle for me. For all of those who are conspiring to make me sad on this occasion for speaking the truth, the God I serve will punish them and their generations. If this nation called Sierra Leone fails to come to my defense, this nation will go through agony not too far from now. I am not a bishop, I am not a reverend, I am not a pastor. But mark my words, if the nation called Sierra Leone, a nation that is seized of everything that is happening in parliament that I spoke of, fail to come to my aid and stand in my defense and allow me to be punished for speaking the truth, agony will befall the nation I call Sierra Leone. Thank you.
Honorable Govao in thing, Mr. Victor, I go to you. You got so much experience for parliament.
Okay, for a start, Honorable Govao mentioned the Constitution. Let me start that side. If you look at Salone Constitution, under Part 4, it talks about the responsibilities and privileges and immunities of parliamentarians. And under A, it says all members of parliament shall maintain the dignity and image of parliament both during the sittings in parliament as well as their acts and activities outside parliament. Then we'll start with that. So the statement where Honorable Govao will make was outside parliament. But according to that section in the Constitution, it is his responsibility for actually maintain that particular discipline or decorum. Secondly, the fact that he is a lawyer, he should know that in making such a statement, he must have, he forget proof. So, and there are ways to handle these issues in parliament. That makes so parliament get two things, apart from which I don't read in the Constitution. The parliament also gets standing orders. These standing orders are like rules and procedures of parliament. So if a member of parliament is aggrieved about something, one of the steps we can take now for make a report through the speaker or the clerk to the privilege committee and say he gets a serious concern where one raise. The privilege committee will look at in concern, sit into that, and then provide a report within 30 days where parliament will discuss and decide what step to take. So those are the Constitution. Then the second point he made was they say, you don't know whether in the Constitution, the Speaker for take action for say members, they not will be members of Parliament. They not call the Honorable. Honorable now a courtesy title where all members they enjoy. So if you are addressed, you come to a member of Parliament, you will say the Honorable Member for constituency, so and so. But there is nothing in the standing order about whether the Speaker can decide for take that honorable title from a member of Parliament. Although Parliament can amend the standing order. So what the Speaker should have done, waiting the Speaker before do, now for say, okay, according to social standing order in Parliament, as Speaker, we go take this honorable title from the member. So it clear say they use correct procedures laid down by Parliament, or if not an addendum to an existing procedure, then he cannot decide unilaterally. Now that makes so we get committees in a Parliament where they look at procedures in Parliament. That should have been something that a decision that has been taken by committee. So there's a big question mark there. There's a big question mark. And the other MP then, again, it came to this, but back to the Constitution 97, it said all members of Parliament shall regard themselves as representatives of the people of Sierra Leone and desist from any conduct by which they seek impropriety in which themselves or alienate themselves from the people. So when you talk about this, when you talk about corruption, it actually fall within that part of the Constitution. Say members should desist. But then also members get rules of behavior for the other two MP them. As far as we know, they made derogatory statements for other female MP, either through direct approach or through text message. So that again is an issue that the Privilege and Ethics Committee therefore investigate and take decision. So that is the legal basis of all this tier they happen. And that let me take on that.
So does the Speaker of Parliament, according to Mr. Gebao, he said and strip two people. What are the reasons, what are the things that when you go do as a parliamentarian, we go strip you of your rights as for being called honorable member? What are the things them where you for do when a bad thing where you supposed to do? Because according to he say he not do nothing, he just talking opinion, and the opinion don't land onto this or to whatever they pan so right now. He talk the opinion of what is going on. And say inside and ibale, then get law say, then for keep unto themselves, then talk unto themselves first. But how do we know enough and go through that process there before he give the thing to BBC? And
he respond to an interview in BBC. Fine. Yeah, if you look at him now, you get three different positions. One, he's a citizen of Salone, where you express your opinion because the opinion comes from a perception survey of citizens. Secondly, he's a lawyer. And if lawyer they make statement, right, he can forget a basis of fact or reference. Thirdly, it's a parliamentarian. And according to the Constitution, under the rights and privileges of Parliament, in supporting waiting at the findings of that report, and he as a parliamentarian confirming it in the media, right, is acting outside that parliamentary privilege they enjoy.
Okay.
If you had stated that, okay, I am making this statement as a citizen of Sierra Leone, because it's a citizen survey, that is a completely different thing. But if he's making the statement as a parliamentarian,
okay,
then And he has been all the time aware of these happenings in Parliament and never brought it to the attention of the relevant authorities in Parliament or the Committee on Privilege, then he himself is failing in his duty. So that's
that makes sense. But then we don't know, like you say, we don't know all the facts in there yet. We don't know if it be done report, because what you know what they say, we saw Honorable Tawa, we see Tawa Conte when he take himself away, say, I cannot do my job if people then get the hope for me, then they tell me what thing for do and how for do and how for say. Because then watching who's law then at the book where they restrict for they not talk waiting at the team, because people will be afraid now with this kind of thing, other parliamentarian then for just can't talk waiting they happen. And I mean, I know the laws are there. I know the things have been, the guidelines then but who are they serving? Are they serving the group of parliamentarians, the little club that they have in Parliament? Or is it, and is this man too ambitious, trying to go out there and put it out there? It don't come out of, they say go rogue.
Well, he is there as a representative of the people.
Right.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And if he is a representative of people,
mm-hmm.
he has the right and the privilege to express the people in concern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Because that's why he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can fault him on that. If he's expressing, when he did the interview, say, well, look, on this perception survey, and based on my own interaction with the people I serve, then believe, say, there's some element of corruption in Parliament. Then again, Parliament, if he had done it that way, if he'd been doing it that way, then we will say it's unfair on Parliament to take action against him now, like what they say. But he talk as a parliamentarian, knowing what is happening inside the Parliament.
Inside, because he's an insider, so in order
if he's an insider, the question we'll ask him is, this was not a spontaneous thing. He has been observing this all throughout the time in Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've been observant during that time in Parliament, waiting do it not bring down to the authority. Let me give another example. Let's take Tawa's case. Right? There is a case which is still being investigated by the Anti-Corruption Commission between Tawa and the Clerk of Parliament.
Mm-hmm. Paran.
Mm-hmm. Tawa made his report to SCC. SCC also, the investigator, although will not get the right thing, he followed the right procedure. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't listen to all them programs we Parliament they take regularly. Well, now look at the institution of Parliament itself, based on your experience in the UK Parliament, when I'm from Danny, the model real Parliament. The people that where they serve Parliament, the main body in a Parliament, now the clerk's department, the clerk of the house, who is the same administrator.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get different clerk of committees.
Mm-hmm.
In Sierra Leone now, that position of clerk of Parliament is based on political appointment. In England now, before somebody they become clerk of Parliament, they start as a junior clerk. They go down serve in the various committees there. They are specialists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they get the experience. And this clerk of Parliament, their role now for also help for advise the MPs them on the do's and don'ts.
Mm-hmm.
So we need for really look at these people in Parliament who are the specialists in parliamentary procedures. Because at then they for guide MP. And
so is it right then for say, because he broke the chain of command, the sideway for go, before he go to the public should have been the last place. Is that why they punishing him, or that's what the rules say? The public for be the last place for go speak out. You for talk our insider for us, let we fix our insider or let we deal with him. Is that why he's been punished, because he broke the chain of command?
there are two things. One, that would be one, because he as a parliamentarian knows, say, then gets procedures for a parliamentarian for utter ingredients. Number two, he make a statement openly where he not able to substantiate with evidence. So that is why he's being punished. But
so it make a statement, but you not get evidence for backup. That's why it is like they say it is malicious and it's by willfully done.
Exactly.
Because there's no evidence for sure. So when now with the audio now, is it why he's saying people that know but they not agree for talk for backing evidence? That's why they put a curse on the nation of Sierra Leone. Is that why people don't have knowledge?
Because after he make that statement there, as far as I know, he was invited by the Anti-Corruption Commission for go discuss in concern. And then the Anti-Corruption, I think they put out, say, anybody where we don't get dealings with Parliament, where that dealing then has some corrupt practice by members go come forward. But they don't come forward, and I will tell you why. Right? Because from what he said, what the perception say, the people that way they talk about, the corruption they talk about, they're like when somebody then get a public appointment. And when he get for go face the parliamentary committee for letting approve him. Right? So then I want. So you get so many people that we don't go through parliament for appointments. But if you don't go through parliament and you knowingly say, for canvas, and you go do that, you get that, it means that person can give the evidence there. It means that person will put in job, because lost in job. It means you get what you call pecuniary advantage. The other challenge where parliament gets when you talk about this corruption, now like their ministries and departmental agencies, them, where they go parliament, either for approve them projects, or then they go question them into three things. The committees are responsible, regardless of which committee. Their responsibilities are for looking into the policy, administration, finance of the ministries and departments under the watch. So the committee can call any member, and also they can get outside visit. I would say you go look, say, we parliamentarians are vulnerable, and as they talk. Let's say then they go do investigation outside, and they go to industry, they go look how industry they operate and everything. At times, the same people that when they go investigate, now they're responsible for the logistics and also give them favors. That in itself is corruption. It is evident.
So the system for say is broken. Corruption everywhere. We've been like with the choke we, they squeeze the life out of we environment and we people and we country. And how can they cut down? How can they?
Okay, now let us give a reference to what we get in England, which I think is one way where we can help with parliament in National. Like when maybe they work in a committee, right? Parliament gets what's called a register of members' interest. So if you do anything for any outside company, or like say you have to work in a bank where they investigate, during that committee sitting there, you can clearly say, I have vested interest in this issue. Yeah. So you not go take part.
Yeah, they will take you out of it. Yes.
Exactly. So if you get a register of members' interest, where you get for declare, say, well, these are my interests, because parliamentarians have been not doing other jobs them before them become parliamentarians. And at times, that past link there with the jobs they're waiting them to do, it will compromise their position whilst doing their job in parliament. So that has to be made clear. Also, there's also rules about gifts to parliamentarians. privileges. Even MPs themselves, where if a company give you ticket for go holiday, you get for declare.
Yes.
Yeah. So these are things that we will not get in our parliament. And that makes so the public perception of parliament say corrupt. That makes so that corruption they do. Because when they talk about perception, it's either a direct experience or something where you think say they happen. Because you go here, say Salone we country that they say, me self under the last government, I get a friend when I be minister. He tell me plain, name withheld, say, if he didn't want ministerial position, then change in post. He gets a new ministerial position. So if we go appear before the committee, and members of the committee they say, well, why it's just not how they work now.
You get for that.
It's an I tell them, say, well, the same qualification experience we have been country before. Now I take approve me. And me say be not look after Ina. So they come back where Africa look after Ina the second time. It's happened. We should not deny it.
Yeah, it is there. It is there.
It is there.
Yes, but people don't have the courage to come forth. And if you do come forth, there are laws that are guidelines whether they use for strangle you and then discourage the rest of the people. Is that Is that what the case is? And then how will we ever get the change where we deserve when we have these laws and these guidelines and these things where they allow the people them for freely be waiting they want to be because I'm seeing it like he went rogue, therefore he's been punished now for getting kind of thing, and the law is then they go by the guidelines, and these guidelines have been there forever. But they never use them, but they only use them when they want to use them.
Exactly. So how do we go forward? Now look at
how do we go forward?
Yeah. Now for make even the people that went at the voters there understand waiting at the role of parliament. Because almost people they know about the different committee in parliament. If you go now, you do a survey. Almost people they know say you get a committee in a parliament where a public petition committee, which means anything where the public feel about parliament, they can get a signature and present them to that committee, and the committee will look into it. So first of all, parliament get a look at how they operate now and provide outreach service. Right? Yeah. People then they go parliament. In England, we get some of them terms they use now we own parliament. When I'm from England, like we talk about Salone Parliament, we'll talk about strangers. Now make so British Parliament will get strangers gallery. Right? Yeah. And in Parliament here, anybody when a member of a constituency get a right for go na parliament for go see MP them. So we not get enough people where they go parliament for understand what's in the happen. But it don't improve. Because the reason why I would say it don't improve, now we get parliament na television. Although not to all man get television. We get parliament na radio. And then what we talk about is, let's go back to the time when Honorable Tawa resigned, which we see openly.
Yeah.
Now two committees them they meet. Tawa make in committee open for let all man see what they do. That makes sure it come out and you get praises. On that same day, the Minister of Lands they go face in your committee. But he say in committee for be closed doors. So you cannot have different standards and different facilities for different ministers.
For different people. It gotta
and
be
different people.
across the board, flat, waiting and call, because, you know, yeah,
Exactly.
they're national security issue them, what they go do in closed doors. But anything else, we're not a national security issue. The people have to know what is going on. They therefore open them, they're there for people for know, because it deal with the people and livelihood and, you know, all that kind of stuff. We get for go past this kind
of let me use again from the experience in British Parliament as me be not work as a committee specialist.
Okay.
So each committee gets somebody when a specialist, because me not a transport professional, me not a transport specialist in the committee. When I mean for able to guide the MPs them on technical issues and transport, but you don't get monopoly to knowledge. And not to all things that transport are good. So what we do, we also get a list of people in England when a specialist in certain subject area.
Yes.
So like say for instance now, if the committee they investigate climate change, you can go to university. We get people in a university, they win a lecturers them, guide the committees them through them proceedings and there. So we get to look at how we strengthen and what the committee does, as I say, then they look into policy, administration of finance of the different ministries. And what they normally do, when they want to get into an inquiry, they will put out a press release. Say, this committee, they look into A, B, C. And the reason. Then they ask every interested party, even you, the ordinary citizen,
they go
submit. No, you submit written evidence to the committee.
Okay.
So we ask the specialists and the acts of the committee, we they look into their written evidence there. Now they use for prepare a brief for the MP there.
Okay.
Then out of all the one in there, we get people and now who they summon for appear before the committee on particular days there. And during the hearings and day, it is open to the public. So we need for support with MP them.
So you talk one word, sir. You say monopoly of knowledge. And in Sierra Leone, my observation, I don't observe, say people them will land book, then feel say that they sabi everything, nobody know they tell them nothing. Because when you talk so they get specialists of everything. We're together, they form the committee, they all give their ideas, people put their ideas together. And I don't know if that really exists now we own community, now we own country, because what I've observed is people, not tell me nothing, you don't know nothing, they don't listen to the little man because they feel say they don't get small knowledge in their head. They don't listen to the simple person where they call simple because they feel say they don't reach the education level where they reach. So sometimes we have a problem too. That's a barrier right there that not to make we grow because they disregard the feelings of the little man and the less educated person or less formal education they get, thinking they are superior and waiting their own sabi no more than their own way, neither way or no way at all. So how would they deal with that problem? Because the parliament has to function and get for work for the people. And you know, just like you rightfully say, you get the right for speaking opinion, but the way we present them and the person we present them as. If we present her just as a citizen, it's okay. But because we present her as a parliamentarian, there is a parliament where you get for answer to. There are laws and guidelines that guide them for their ethics and behavior. So now, what's in the team them where you for do, because I'm not sure you get a list of them, where a class of them where you've been talk of earlier, where we're going to get side discussion, for where you will come before the ethics committee, where you will come before the ethics committee for disciplinary action. What do you have to do that warrants you to be called in front of the committee for disciplinary action? Because as an honorable man, you have gone out of the bounds.
Okay, now take the present case now for the two MP then.
Yes.
They are alleged to have used derogatory remark on other female MPs.
Okay.
So that comes to courtesy in terms of how you deal with other members.
Mm-hmm.
Either you use abusive language or you make statement to that member which is not good.
Okay.
That member the person affected, probably that be the case on this one, could have reported that to the privilege committee.
Mm-hmm. So what is the reasonable punishment for that behavior of courtesy and rudeness? Let's call it rudeness, because
rudeness. What normally happens?
Make rudeness for me becoming a senior member. You can't make rudeness or talk for me any kind of way. So I go let you complain to the committee, then call you now say for rudeness. What will be the punishment of rudeness?
Well, according to the Constitution, right, you for tender an apology.
Okay.
A written apology. Openly. But then also, then you could be disciplined by your own party. Yeah, because the way you party can discipline you. Now for what you can say, because each party gets a whip. Somebody when I like the sergeant major where they control the members and behavior.
Right.
Yeah. So your own party, if they feel to say you bring the party into disrepute and what they do, they can withdraw the whip from you. Which means by withdrawing the whip means you cannot participate in any debate for a period of time.
Okay, you'll be suspended temporarily.
Yeah.
Not permanent.
Not permanent.
Okay.
Yeah. Then Parliament also can choose that the will of Parliament after the debate. They can say, okay, you can get more than one punishment. First, they will tell you, say, for apologize, make you written apology openly, or apologize in Parliament, let all man go see you. Right? But then Parliament can decide, say, that is not enough because of the gravity of the problem. They can suspend you for a number of days, which means during that time, you cannot go into Parliament and they're not going to pay you for that period.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are the punishments you can get.
But no
Now make sure when you even listen parliamentary debates, I can give you even the language you use. Yeah. You cannot call somebody a liar in Parliament. It's an unparliamentary language.
Okay.
Well,
they have their own jargon.
The British get away with it can do that.
Okay, they have their own jargon.
Remember, you can say the person is being economical with the truth. Even though they're the same thing, but the way where you talk. So even within Parliament, during debates, the language where they use also, the speaker can ask you at that time for withdraw that statement, and if you refuse for withdraw the statement or apologize, then they can suspend you from that session during that Parliament sitting.
Okay.
So these are some of the sanctions that are there.
Okay, so they have their own job and they get, because they're honorable men, so they get for carry themselves as honorable men.
But let's go back, and when you talk about this corruption, we always deal with case studies.
Okay.
I was in Parliament when we've been getting what you call the cash for questions. Then I've been the popular Harrods owner, Al Fayad. When I say he been give money to British parliamentarians for them to ask questions in Parliament, because now make sure you get question time. You get time where they allocate for members for ask questions on any issue. So they may accuse members of Parliament, say they may pay them for ask question we go benefit the person, right? So out of that, Nine has set up the Standards of Public Life Committee under Lord Nolan. So they call it the 7 principles of standards in public life. And I think, say, the 7 principles are: number 1, selflessness. You are in Parliament on behalf of the people. So you're going to work for the people, not for yourself.
Yes.
Now the people then give you that power.
Right.
Number 2, integrity. What you do. If you know, say, when somebody, they come for public appointment, that person did not meet the standards, or you just tell it in a cupboard, but because you're a party member, and you participate for appoint that person, you toe the line, then you get objectivity. Whatever you say in Parliament, you get for take into account the nation. Now makes certain issues that when they debate in the Parliament, when are on national security, then they do it in camera. So any information where you get during that parliamentary things, you cannot go share it for other person. Yeah. Then accountability. You get to be accountable to your people then. The one that will elect you. And you also get to be accountable to other members then. And openness. Whatever you are doing, you get to be open about it.
Right.
Or you critically enough for the honesty. You get to be honest in your dealings. And the final one, now leadership. Because you are there to represent people and you are a leader. You get to demonstrate that leadership. So this now the waiting the yardstick of how a parliamentarian forgive. So anything short of those principles, you can be held accountable for.
Okay, so now Mr. Gegbauer is in front of, or go back in front, because it sounded na the audio like you don't know infatuate waiting for happen to them. But then in cry to the people, because you go on social media and cry to the people, he say, I am not a pastor, me not to God, me not to preacher, but if anything happened to me and people sit by and watch and they know what's in the happen, just like you said, they will not come out and say it because it affects them. They will not say the truth. But if anything, it call a laugh on the people of Sierra Leone. Is that a parliamentarian language? Is that language where it was used because out of in desperation and hurt and pain? Because in EOI, it mean do accountability. In EOI, it mean try for be honest. In EOI, but because they're not going the right way, like you don't explain how the parliament works as a parliamentarian instead of a Sierra Leonean, now he is looking at it like he is being punished for speaking the truth. He said, and God said, he fought to God say we must be truthful. So because he don't speak the truth, don't bring this raft upon her now. So therefore, if he suffer the consequences, he don't know what thing ever happened to him. But if he suffer the consequences, then the people of Sierra Leone that allowed that to happen and the people that did not speak on his behalf, plus the country go come into this doom and dark day and destruction, whatever word you want for put inside there. So
that was an unfortunate statement by him, and I excuse her for that. In order to all my able answer, take pressure. But now let's look at what will happen when it goes to the committee. Right? When he faces the privilege committee, he will be asked to substantiate in statements we make. Yeah? And also, he will be given the opportunity for calling witness for substantiate that statement, either another member of parliament or somebody outside who don't experience that. Yeah? So he gets the right for go explain to the committee why he believe, because in his statement we make after the normal suspended, he said he no go retract that statement they say parliament corrupt, which means he believe him. So if you believe him and in a lawyer, let he go prove him.
Yeah.
So the burden of proof is on him. So now he get the burden of proof. So he gets opportunity for going to that privilege committee day and explain why he get that belief there and why he did not say again, he not retract the statement. And for me now, why he swear we be Sierra Leoneans?
Why we? What do we do now?
Exactly.
That's the thing I asked the question. I mean, I feel for him in what's in a God, but why? What did we do inside there? Why put the curse on Sierra Leone instead of the one there where they deal with outside and they to the same boys' school where they all day inside?
Exactly. So after the committee hearings, according to the constitution, the committee get for submit the report within 30 days, the end of the investigation. Right? Then that report they go to the main parliament, the main way of parliament, with recommendations, then they go debate them. So that will get happen. So he has his chance to go and prove what he is saying. If you believe him, go say the same way like we have been working in parliament. When you write parliamentary report, right? Then that makes sure and get what you then call footnote. So for everything we write in that report, you either footnote and for let them know say this not your opinion, now this now you saw. But if now your opinion, you can say in my view, or use term that there is the likelihood that something will happen. You know say go happen, no? But if X, Y, and Z not there in place, there is a likelihood that it will happen. So even the way you write reports, Parliament is also very important.
Yeah, the language, and I, you know, like I say, the language.
So the problem we get,
important on what
the problem again at Salone, adopt this system from the UK. We stand in orders, the ceremonial thing there, even the people like the sergeants at arms, the Orlentin and the robing. It was borrowed from another culture. Yeah? So we need constant training of our MPs then for let them understand. And that makes sure you get the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association where they can allow MP then and get an exchange visits. Where they will come UK Parliament or they go Australia, they get conference for actually understand this system where they operate. And we for bear in mind say this parliament is unique because a lot of the MPs then at this parliament now first-time parliamentarians. They are young people.
Is he a first-timer? Is he a first-timer?
I'm not sure, but I know say Honorable Tawana first time.
Yeah, it looks young and maybe
exactly. These are the new generation.
Yeah.
You know, so then get for understand we get for constantly they provide support for them. Another thing we have been suggest again, at one time, I write to the different party there. All this concern, as I say, that makes sure I set up the Salone Parliamentary Watch Facebook page. And I can tell you, say, that one of the most followed, because to date I have 46,000 subscribers. So now my contribution that. So I can put issues on Parliament for educate people about these things. So Parliament and the people get for work together. We people get for understand. Let it not be seen as an alien institution. And then they bring all this doubt and perception because people they don't understand.
Because the layman out there on social media, they say, well, this man can't talk the truth in their own opinion. People that this man don't can't talk the truth, now they're gonna punish him because he don't can do it. But now with you clarifying it, say because he broke the chain of command, because of the way there is a way that is expected. So for make it do that, and now the people are going to understand, say, okay, but still in your perception and in your opinion and in your dealings where don't do and what he don't see, we all go say yes, there is one way or another, say there is corruption in Parliament, but in specify how then they do the corruption. In specify how that they do them, but you don't get evidence for prove them, but maybe you don't witness them, but there's no evidence. Therefore, in a court of law without no evidence, you just it's just an opinion, it's just a claim that you made.
Exactly.
And the sad part that and then what we how then would another young politician do they need to change these rules or be flexible with them here? Because then how can a whistleblower become a whistleblower? You know, when he sees something wrong, he's afraid to say it. Because there's no protection under the law for him. There's no protection. It will backfire on him. So how will a whistleblower...
No, but you see, when you talk about privilege, right? The Constitution and the standing orders in a parliament give that parliamentarian the freedom of speech. Right? But as we can use the French term, noblesse oblige, to whom what is given, what is expected. So in giving you that freedom of speech there, the language you use and the things that you say matters.
Okay.
Now I make sure you get the rules and procedures of parliament.
Okay, so in the well of parliament, a parliamentarian can say or voicing opinion about things that is going on, or I object to things that is going on, but with the right language, you can say anything.
Yes. And he cannot be held accountable for that
in
any court of law.
But because he said it out of parliament,
yes,
into the international world, therefore, now make them all are accountable.
Yes, he said it out of parliament because it goes back to what you are saying at the when you look at the constitution, 97A, we say members of parliament shall maintain the dignity and image of parliament during the sittings in parliament, as well as in their acts and activities outside parliament.
Okay. So that is the catch there. I mean, people don't know you read the catch. I think we get caller there on the line. Let's take some call, please. Good evening, caller. Name, please, and who's the call we from? Hello, caller. Good evening.
Yes.
Go ahead.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Earlier meet up on a topic we want to discuss on, then I'll be talk on, and now that we're on the parliament regarding Gavao in issue. First, let me say this to all Sierra Leoneans. Made a call from Dallas, Texas. I'm named Dabo.
Yes, sir.
On behalf of Sierra Leoneans, I just want to say it's sad that leaders of we nation keep him up openly and publicly. Cause we nation. That tells we how selfish our leaders are. This is not the leadership of only today. From days of Bagay, Suksaka Steven, you name it, down to where we are today, how selfish they are. Now, as me, brother, the talk, Victor, I applaud them. Most of the Tiwa want to say, it don't hit on them. And I'm not saying not much about parliament, which, of course, now we're not going to know because the parliament of today, they get the society inside the way they don't take out of the law book, that they deal with their own books. But having said that, also, I'm not going to deliver this message without concerning, really, I don't know really how for put this, for waiting Gavao do now with nation who will sit down na social media with the cover them up. Waiting Gavao do, Gavao the law for deal with them. Now, only cause the country, it threatens the nation, which is bad. But you see, that is brilliant because many politicians don't come, they don't threaten with nation, we don't let them go free. So I don't even know what probably they're going to do to give out. Because after election, we see Samora Kamara Timapopli say, he don't go ever give rest, he don't go give peace to that country, he don't go allow peace for winning in that country. And with the fear, atrocity everywhere. Then another parliamentarian, government official, just like Samora Kamara, don't come, he don't cause with nation. He don't send threat on with nation. So these are the issues we need to address. With me, if I was Mr. Victor, I would not even go into details explain how parliament they operate. We all know these people are not working by the laws. Gavao standing out there, we all don't hear it, he don't talk openly. And when you go discuss this issue, not the wrong place where you discuss that. Where you the sworn in at that country, where you get government position, you don't start by saying for me people there. You say for your country. And everything about your country where you take your oath, if you're not parliamentarian, now the parliament will discuss. Then you can't with that to your people there. So if you go to parliament, see where you not say, they work fine with country, you hide them selfishly. You pull and then you can't talk them, smooth somewhere, and then you go on social media all over, you explain all over. But you are not there to give the proof evidence, to give the evidence of what you talk about. That don't happen at parliament. Of course, we go applaud you. We will welcome you. Because that is what the agenda of this government is for. To deal with corruption. So if you know the main office, which is corruption for be clear first. Corruption, you clear and then before that. That time the whole
It's a concern of many Sierra Leoneans. Yeah, because we.
Oh, it's still there on? Okay, I thought we lost you. I mean, if you say we lost you, sir, go ahead, please.
No,
finish.
No, I don't online. So the problem, the thing why they say, my dear sister, is this: if we allow them to put them, what would they look up to? With taxpayer money, paying them every day for them to go sit out there and represent we, not by tribe, not by region, because they are not. Even though you get a constituency where they elect you, you don't sit in that parliament to represent that constituency anymore. After election, there is no more of SFPP, no more of APC. None of that. It's something about Sierra Leone now. So if you are out there, you think you can do things out of ordinary way selfishly, and then you want expect people the way they vote for you, may they can rally for you, we not accept that. More when the way where this man it is wrong. As Sierra Leone, we need to stand against it. Gebao in Metro applying for hit on the case. It is wrong. The Sierra Leoneans don't do nothing to you. You get rules and regulations for abide by. And they have the people with that rules and regulations. Now, there you they work with. If we are all there that when they play a small game, it don't work fine for you, go sit down there, you tell them. If they don't respond to you, that's it. Now, coming back to the Speaker of the House. Of course, Speaker of the House, whatever they happen, for resign, for pull the Gebao in position, it's wrong. Because as we all know, Gebao not present this case in Parliament where the Speaker go look at and say, out of reasonable doubt, that Gebao is guilty. So he has no reason for dismissal. But at the same time, Gebao self what he do, he get no reason for doing. So that's what they say. Now they cry down that things there publicly, and these are the means of doing it. The social media, like hundreds of viewers, now we not can sugarcoat anything. These things are wrong. We are suffering in the hands of these guys. We need to put stop to it. And it is not only today. These are our taxpayer money that put them in that office, pay their welfare, everything. But we are yet to know really what will happen. But when election time comes, everybody want to explain. So we what they want to do. But then when they come, they don't explain to we how they do them.
Yeah, that's true.
So it is wrong.
Thank you, my brother Dabo. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate your input. Thank you very much, Mr. Dabo. Mr. Victor, Mr. Dabo, don't talk in your own listener voice of Sierra Leone. That's why I love the show, because every Sierra Leonean voice, as long as it will respectfully get the right for speaking voice and speaking opinion, this is the platform for every Sierra Leonean. So what do you think, Mr. Dabo?
Well, Mr. Dabo just mentioned two things what I say, honestly. In the first place, as a parliamentarian, even let's say even after the law sanction in Parliament, the statements we come out with, especially the end part, begin say it is where the country and the people.
Yeah,
that is wrong.
Yeah.
Again, Mr. Dabo also make the same point to make say you are in this system. You see, say things are not working right because you perception or you statement of corruption is not one instance. You're going to be saying that you don't observe over a period. The other thing where we look again, if you are looking, and I make sure we get what we call Hansard. Now from England, we borrow that where they report Parliament. And I'm sure, say, if we now make sure England would be able to know what MPs and they vote on the issue. I'm sure, say, if you go back, in and there will not happen in the Parliament, where in Mr. Gebao, vote a Parliament, which might not be in the interest of the nation.
So we look kind of like there's a record. We can go back and look at the record of the voting records of the people.
Yeah, we can go back and look at the voting records.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can go back and look at the voting records. But again, all this way they happen in the Parliament, it comes back to one issue where we don't dominate, and I need for bringing account. We don't dominate with social media, and to the extent that I know they get involved with them.
Mm-hmm.
No more. Now, these findings of the Commission of Inquiry, again, are about people, right? The Commission of Inquiry was set up not only just for look at who that put here and sign off with it. If you look at one of the clauses of the Commission of Inquiry, now for look at our governance system, because the governance system now they cause corruption. Because in Rwanda, I worked in civil service in Sierra Leone before I come out. Government job before, then they publish in a gazette. When they publish in a gazette, if you see say you want to do the job, you apply to the Public Service Commission. You go there, they interview you. They interview you, do a panel, you are selected for the job. Once you are selected, you go to an orientation. Even for civil servants, at one days we go to call general orders. So you get for learn the system, but now even the system of appointing people into positions at Salone is a bit of a problem, because now man no man system now gets. So people, when they appoint them to a particular position, they owe them privilege. In fact, if you look at the appointment letter, when they come up from the office of the president, they go one statement when they use. It pleases the president.
Yes.
So now the president is pleased for appointing.
Yeah.
So when it displeases the president, they can sack you, which means you don't get a security of tenure. So these are all the things we have to look into our governance system, and it causes corruption. Parliament is just one form of the governance system. And when you talk about separation of power, you get the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. So we have to look at how these institutions they function, the way they operate, the people the way we put in charge of key decision making. Until we look at that, in fact, me from me say we will get a major conference on governance in the country, for see how the people the way they in power, they run the country for avoid corruption. When this president came, he caught some very good things, right? No doubt. One of the things we carried, now when he set up the Department of Science, Technology, and Innovation.
Right?
Yeah, we get a right to access information act in Salone. This is not the time we get social media. Everybody in a Salone get phone. Some man when I will write, he go talk in a language. They are audio and everything. So why we not bring government to the people? Let people understand how government they work. You know?
But this is what I have said before.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you have people on the other side, on each side, where not troublemaker them. But then you get a lot of people that are ready and willing for let una meet engage. And even the troublemakers, you cannot say are they outcast them because they're part of the community, and then get a group of people that way and they influence. So why don't we engage? Because I believe in engaging and communication and talking for let we squash the beef and move forward. Let we go because we talk on that. Let we look what is happening with the neighboring countries of West Africa right now. Let me see the unrest of the young people are taken to the streets. The young people are defying the odds. The young people, because for a long time they have been forgotten, neglected, and their rights being trampled on, and these people are taking the streets. Whose lessons are going to go learn from this? We see in Guinea, down there from 1960. 60 almost way again independence with Sekou Touré being the first president. Guinea, in as much as dictatorship and little bit of communism, waiting and call Bindepan, Sekou Touré Bindepan, and the other one they will follow a little bit. But then they help for keep the peace. West Shaka Stephen Needham, one time when they do that Daru problem and all that kinds of thing, and they Yes, Chakasiri go call and come, detain them back, wash them, echo mog, then go bring them come in for go help fete. Then you see in Liberia, Talbot, William R. Talbot in column, they tell them he gets the one dispute where them he get. Guinea was kind of like the person where they go help for keep the peace. Now Guinea is waiting and call. We see Condemn, it don't change the constitution. What are an agreement with a bunch of people, the respect of the law of we leaders don't respect the law. We don't see na Mali, the people are not uprised and don't make, but then we international partners are endorsing these people. And they know it is not the right thing for let other people can overthrow, military overthrow, because then they all na chaos and then they bring the country economy and the peace of the region instability going on. We see this thing. Why can't they be like Mandela is an example that we can use as African leaders? We calm, he serve one time, he hand over, he leave everything. But our people, and we yari President Koroma in term where they say Sam Sumana when I was the vice president, we make the accusation say if one gets the idea of a third term. Now we see the West African nation, we see Guinea, the president, even though not to win the election, but don't make himself say I don't win the election and they go for a third term and they change the constitution at their will. Should Sierra Leone be worried for them thing and they should Sierra Leone be looking up? Should we discourage President Bio? Say, please, sir, don't think of that kind of stuff. Because that is not an example. Because I know you read it or I know see it. I don't know if President Bio did it privately. But I know you read it, he condemned the act of these nations because it is wrong. The acts of these nations that then they do upon the people. This is an 80-something-year-old man in Guinea still want to be president for what when somebody else don't win the election, but yet, you know, the international world is watching by. The one day where we get as local one day, we ECOWAS and we order AFAF, then African Union, all that stuff, then they are not saying anything to condemn this foolishness and they keep going. Then they bring on the rest. The region right now, it's like a blaze. It's like we're bleeding. The streets of the nations are bleeding. With the young folks are taking over. The same behavior, when we ignore bad behavior, it becomes something later. We pray to God, it not be the kind way than they. But these are the behaviors of our leaders of Africa. Even though it happened, even to this present America, we see this one what we get. People don't have the courage to speak up to them parliamentarians them or to them president there or to them people them because they benefit from them. I cannot call you out when you are wrong, doing the wrong thing. And our people are there. The streets are filled with people them where they go through this. You know, Guinea, Ivory Coast, then I wrote Mali. Then you get all the other nation them. You get them. Everybody is disgruntled. We still have hope. But we get for all, we all leader they accountable for condemn such behavior. For condemn such behavior. I don't know. I think we don't lost Mr. Victor for a second. I think we've lost Mr. Victor for a second. With the condemnation of Guinea. We lost Mr. Victor. Sorry, my people, we lost Mr. Victor. We'll not say go join way back in a little bit. But these are the things that are happening, you know. If Guinea is unstable, we get two color. Let's take the color then. But if Guinea is unstable, we the people that say now Guinea they go pass me load for inside free tongue now. Now Guinea port they use. Now Guinea they go buy market. And Guinea hold Liberia and Sierra Leone, even though they're not waiting and call the Mano River and at the Guinea Day. But at the same time, we economy go crumble. These are the things that leaders do and nobody is saying anything. And the people, the young people are taking the street. The young people, because we on time there, we not left out for do some of we don't give up. But the young people are awakening progressive things. We get for change. We cannot be doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's not yielding us nothing. Corruption has strangled. Don't suffocate we. Don't suck the life. It's like cancer. It sucks the life of the organs that run the country, pulling the plug of everything from education to health to infrastructure to livelihood to classes, everything because of corruption. If it's not done right, and not go before, we know they go before, just in the same circle. Let we take the call of them. We will get Mr. Victor back on the phone soon. Let we take caller them, please. Good evening, caller.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Alaji Sila. I call from Killeen, Texas. Fadima, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Mr. Sila. How are you doing? Go ahead.
Good. The input when we get today, first of all, parliamentarians say waiting and did a parliament for. That's the first question. And the guy for this question, they go for that guy. I don't know what his name. But the first question they go for, what to make parliamentarians and they na parliament for? Is it for the people or not for themselves? The reason why I ask, we don't need a Salone from 19 Jubilee, we was born. Let any parliamentarian raise and say, okay, do this, na me do am. For example, look at our hospitals, look at our other institutions there, the schools there, all the breakdown. Yet these guys are there to make sure say we get upgraded school, hospitals, they're being paid to take care of us. But nobody know they raising hand for say, I don't do this for Sierra Leone. Instead, there's a competition between themselves about who's gonna save more money or building houses in overseas. Than one thing nowadays. Secondly, will not ever get people that will don't come out playing say parliament corrupt. First, you start with Tawa say, look, they want put me for this year. Me no want time. Me want law we go before as a Sierra Leone and law do the right thing. Not say people them they do bad, but you can repent anytime. God can kind of say, me not me he do so for do bad. I want love start for do good. Not try for helping people right now. But now we don't get two people. Whether Geva go online, you're gonna BBC talk about, you understand? He's talking about the corruption. He's tired of it. He no need for sit down back and talk about na parliament because they fully know they've done nothing towards the country, towards development, infrastructure, anything in the country. They never done anything. Why would they still support the parliamentarians here? Why would they compare them with Europeans or Americans there? Where the senators in America or the parliamentarians in Britain, they are fighting. There's a competition between themselves of whether they do this for this particular for the area. Whether they do this from the area. Whose parliamentarian the great in Anna Salone say he or she what they say this is what I did to my area. None whatsoever. How we still supporting people here? How comes we still supporting people here? People are suffering for basic needs. Water there, basic food. In all day in the country, what they be there before we small. Pump street they all be open. Up down they all look. Why? Yet still with the supporting parliamentarians there, what they don't do for let we say Salone don't come up parent here. We don't talk about 21st century. This is the 21st century. Why we people are still there like the 1820s? Why? Are we going to blame ourselves? No, not the parliamentarians because they're there for us. They make we choose them for let them can talk for we, let them negotiate for we, let them make sure say we happy. But they are not. They are not. Then we still support them Gaia. We still support them Gaia. Let we try for make the politicians know say, the parliamentarians know say, you guys are I don't want to say the word. You guys are not working for us. You are not working for us. You are working for yourselves. This is not right. People in the suffer at Salone. People in the suffer. Water. People in all of them in the go pass the work how many miles for go get water, forget it on the house. We pump seat and boku. What make the all for o'clock? We ask them what they say they make road. The road where they say they make every minister at Salone, that road number they for make. Even the road, there was no proper drainage. Why people they suffer on flooding? Yet still we support the politicians here. Why make we not?
Thank you, Mr. Sila Alaji. Thank you, my brother. Alaji from Killeen, Texas. That's my town. Anyway, I get you there, bro. Next caller, please. Name, please, and who side they call away from? Hello, caller. What's your name? Who side they call from?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please. What's your name? And
yeah, una good evening to we now.
Yes, go ahead, please. Good evening. Okay, we they get caller in problem. I think they try for get connection because they get a beep. They on the line where they get a beep. But yeah, we don't see
Hello?
Guinea. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Mina Solomon Coca. I call from Canada. How are you?
Yes. Go ahead, sir. Good evening, Mr. Coker. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Don't listen to our program. Really interesting. Concerning the parliamentarians, you know, what me feel say they got a double standard. Na Sierra Leone, you know, they get rules for certain people, and they get rules for other people, you know. Because if you take the Speaker of the House, what he mean do, we all know, you know. I mean, that's a video they circulate. Even the Speaker of the House, when they with a woman, all listening also. What in are the step would then take against the Speaker of the House? You know, nobody not talk about that. You know, nothing at all, not, you know. And my brother and the try for say the parliamentarians and they for behave in parliament, and at the same time they for behave out of parliament, you know. But what the Speaker of the House do is very bad. We all see that, and nobody not talk about that. Now when it comes to sanction for other people, now in the first one what they take for sanction them, you know. What he do if not in any developed country, the Speaker of the House will do that thing and day if I don't resign in position. Because he don't lost confidence in the people, you know, but he's still in that position. And we know they talk about that. Where small thing where this bubble don't do, they don't inflate them, you know. They try for discipline and try for remove them from the parliament.
Brother, thank you. And that's a point made. That's a point made because Mr. Victor been to talk on the disciplinary action and behavior of the people. And we saw a video of the Speaker of the House. You know, we all called for him, say the right thing to do is to resign, but he never did. But now, is it double standard? That's a good question right there. Now, double standard because you don't make something way less than honorable. Okay, Mr. Victor, don't come back. Thank you, sir.
I went up there for some time.
Yeah, okay. I know say we lost you for a few. Okay, a caller, Mr. I don't know if you been listening to the show or whatever when you're off. But we get a caller, we don't come, we don't say. The Speaker of the House is doing a double standard here. And they talk of when it been come out the video, when it been come out of him being naked and with another woman. And that was misbehavior, but nobody disciplined him, nobody said nothing. But now when this young guy don't make a mistake, now they want to use disciplinary action against them. And on the front line, the speaker, now in at the front line, they lead the fight. So is that fair to this person where one go get, he said double standard? That's Mr. Coker from Canada. And then you know, so watching you take on that. Is it double standard? And they say we have to, and then Mr. Sila, another brother, say we have to allow the people to speak because parliamentarian, then they can't put like a gag order on them, say therefore only talk na ya, where the thing, if they come out, say these are young people, they're trying to make the change, they don't tire with all the corruption, and they talk of the sufferness of the people because of corruption, the thing that would don't go wrong in a salon. So waiting you get, if you get anything for say before I take the other call and please. You get me, Mr. Victor? I think Mr. Victor don't freeze up a little bit. But let me take another caller first. We will come back to Mr. Victor. Caller, good evening. Name please and who side they call we from? Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name and who side they call we from?
Yeah, calling from Dallas, Texas. It's not Dabo again.
Yes, Mr. Dabo. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I just want kind of correct the last speaker where it say give out no need for wait and discuss the issue regarding firing or whatever situation we're in right now in the parliament, in it for kind of public. Well, as Suelians, let me address this to all of you. If we start to go away from the rules and regulations, we abide by that country, we also for abide by. Now, problem now with nation. I understand how frustrated the man is, okay? But that don't necessarily mean the law. And in fact, Gebal, now the wrong person waiting for do this, my dear sister. Gebal, you are highly educated, you are a lawyer, you are a parliamentarian, and you don't wish for go higher than what you do. And you need to set an example. And you need to live by that example. I can't imagine anybody to tell her to say, the man don't need for wait, go talk on a parliament. Yes, you get right for one. You get right for one. You know, even some of you within America now, they see what will happen every day. But when we say them things and they say, we'll not compare Europe to Africa. Of course, we have to. If we pray God for that every day, the problem where they happen now with Africa countries, then look right now in Nigeria. You know what they have today. Now, because people don't want to abide by the rules and regulations, and they are there. But the same white people, they won't cancel them because of their situation, their environment set up, the way when they live their life. Now then, we don't want to compete from them. But then we love for they around them. Why do you want to be around people you don't want to compete from them? So let's follow that. We're in a law country. Gebal as earlier as Tokam, Gebal began all right. For Tirana Parliament address the issue, if they not take them granted, if they not look into them, it get right. They get committee, in fact, it go through the committee not take them, it go directly to the Speaker of the House. Or to in-party members, it discuss them with them. Because I remember the last time Tawa in your issue. SFPP then say Tawa because you not discuss with them, now they not get for back them up. So if that's the procedure, he should have gone with that. But for him to just take phone upon himself and call international bodies, start for complaint, for God's sake, these people have their own issues. Let's forget about them resolving our problems. Let we try for the solve your own problem. How can you call on somebody like Trump for go solve problem at Salone? Or any other world leaders at this time? Looking at all what themselves they do. So we just want let's let we, even though sometimes it's pressure, but let we go according to the rules. That way.
But Mr. Dabo, can I ask you a question, sir? Can I ask you one question? Yes, how can we not look up to the international world where almost more than half of our economy comes from them? Because they are a lifeline. So we run to them. We're used to it. We run to them for everything because they're our lifeline. And we're not able to develop on we own. We're still running to them. So I guess everybody thinks, you know, it's just like with politicians and too. They would not talk to local people. They want to go impress the international world because the international world is where maybe the change that is needed.
Let me address that.
Yeah, the change that is needed, they go to international world because we don't respect one another. We don't respect what we have. We don't respect what we do. So the international world is our watchman. They run to them.
You're absolutely right with your point. But let me address that, which is what I was addressing also. You see, when I say let we left for the contact them people, then consult them with issues the way regarding this problem with country, it's not only about problems the way they occur. It is about every resources. Because like you said, you're right. This is why we keep coming to them, because they sponsor us. They are our sponsors. But even at that, we can cut that off. We can cut, because what do we gain from this sponsorship? You tell me. Some of you, they look into government. We know, governance, we know. We are not getting anything from those things. Where a white man gives you penny, he's getting out of that penny $1 billion. But because we are mathematically not in time, that is why they are not able to sum up that. So with we coming to this country, one thing we at the base where we land is we that coming here, we just see what they happen. Now we speak to people there. That's what I'm saying. But the fact that I'm always here talking about the problem, let we not report to them. No. Everything, let we not beg them. Let we let them. Let we tackle with problems there. For example, look at what's the calamity in the world right now. Do you think if ever we the whole solely depend on international body, we will even get food for each Salone? It's not good day. It's not good day. So these are the issues. We need to look at the grassroots problems. Not only when some people somebody first we can't begin to call international. Now we look at who side they make with for them every day they beg them. Let me try.
But what would you say now? What would you say now? Because I just be led to ask you the question because I kind of what would you say about what's going on in Guinea and like Sudan and Mali and Ivory Coast is on the work, the instability, Nigeria, all these African nations, all this unrest that is going on, and this is moved by a lot of it is young people are standing up. And we see people bastardizing the constitution of their countries. They don't care, they don't respect. And we don't respect ourselves. So we let our people treat us any kind of way, our leaders. What would you say, to we on government? Because we may not hear him say, that was according to former Vice President Sam Sumana, say former president we want to go on a third term. So what would you say to Sierra Leoneans and to the President Bio in power now, if like for discourage them and for come openly and condemn this behavior of these leaders that are doing, how we go forward if they keep doing these kind of things for big dictators and ruling the people like that and just not care about the constitution and the law of the land?
Okay, that is a very good question. Brilliant one too. Let me tell you. Now we get the problem with the masses. Now we get the problem. This favoritism, regionalism, nepotism, tribalism, now they affect with country. Let me tell you something, my dear. If we all realize that them people they put in a governance, now we then they work for. If we understand that, there is no need when somebody go tell me say that this I want it, but just because you know me tribe, you know me favorite, you know me region, come on, support me. These are the problems. Election time they come. We they really look at people them. When the charisma, the potential are there to build up that country. But because for, this fame, be done there, I don't study them, I don't know them, I know the first one. That's not going to resolve the problem. What they go resolve the problem is when we, you don't get for PhD degree holder. Because most of you who don't go to school, we are more deceiving our people than even the people who don't go to school. Can you imagine? That if you look at what Givor did, that even the people who don't go to school. So what do people advise to every nation of Africa? Unless we learn for understanding, the country at the day, anybody where they can't serve them, it is serve them. Now we it is serve, not to eat it is serve. And we know they put on day for be only accountable to a family affair or family. So when we understand that and when we go to the ballot, and with the conscience for the nation where you love, you vote wisely. Those things will not happen.
Okay.
Those things will not be happening.
That's
so these are the things. Let we serve as masses of the nation. Let we change the attitude of doing things by putting those people into offices. This is where the problems are coming from. Now you cannot be see. They get the constitution where they draw the time where they for candidates. But then when they can't campaign to win, we don't even ask those things. These people come now English and they can't speak to people in our village. What is it that they will come cry them down for? It's not fair. It's just not fair. We serve the old.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Dabo. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. I know you're a strong voice on social media. That's why I gave him a little bit of time. Mr. Victor, don't come back. But let me take Mr. Victor is back. Mr. Victor, we don't talk.
Yes, I'm back using my telephone now because I'm getting problem with the laptop.
Yeah. So we don't have much small all them thing and they so I've been carried the talk go to waiting that happen na Africa, at the continent of Africa. I talk on the West African body, then we'll get the international world. We see Guinea President Condemn, 80-something-year-old man. They still fight for go a third term and don't change the constitution and bastardize the constitution. Nobody cares. We see people, they overthrow government where, they don't tire with all things. They're not supposed for people. International sponsors and international people then supports that. They're not talking nothing. And we on president, I call on President Bio, for condemn such act because we the stand say we want for be the right direction as President Bio promised we want for cut all the their leader there, where they come for can be dictator into to the people their life, where they abuse all that kind of stuff. Then they so we don't see I measure the Sudan, I measure Mali, what we see what's in happen Egypt, Guinea, then Nigeria. They don't take to the streets. Then Ivory Coast there on the walk. Then said therefore I think the end of this month. Then said they forget what's in and call. We see on the rest of the people because the people are tired. They're crying. The streets are bleeding. They are saying we want a better life. We want people that want to work for we. And some leaders are still holding on. They're changing the constitution as they plead. And like I said, we hear some Sumana women they talk say the former president by Koma want for change to a third term. And we want for the President Bio speak out and condemn that, send a message to them as part of the African Union and part of ECOWAS, say we cannot have this to happen because we want let we constitution. This is the thing of the people whether we don't put together and sign and agree by. So one person not just can change them for fitting your own waiting and call on your own needs or whatever. What is somebody doing? 2 times is enough. Because when you pass 2 times 9 corruption, the boku, you want hold on to what? So go ahead, sir. And Guinea, all the economy of West Africa, it kind of all the economy, especially Sierra Leone and Liberia, because people go buy from Guinea, people ship things to Guinea because they are ports and free ports and all that stuff, where they bring trade for make the economy better in our country. Then. So what do you take on those then topic then this? Mr. Victor.
Okay, I think when you take the issue of Guinea and Sierra Leone, for me, the biggest disappointment now, we for examine waiting at the role of the Mano River Union. That is a particular issue because Mano River Union all these years, and the reason we formed that union, then I forget cooperation between the countries and because when you take Salone, Guinea, and Liberia, and even Ivory Coast, now the same set of people, we get common heritage, we get common tribes, like the Madingos are all over those countries, the Fulas are all over those countries, but we know they come up. But you see, when we talk about things in Africa, I always want to cite one country as an example, because that was where I was and actually witnessed what happened. Let's take the case of Kenya. I was in Kenya during the time where they didn't get the problem in 2007, where they didn't get the election, then there was a dispute and all the rest of it, then decide to form a coalition government. One of the key issues where Kenya been getting the nature of the constitution. So then decide for get a referendum and change the constitution. Let's look at the positive thing where Kenya do, where they're able to get all these conflicts for addressing. First of all, Kenya look at decentralization. In Sierra Leone, we don't get decentralization policy, all this time. Then decide for say, well, look, let we give power to the people. Let each region manage themselves and share resources. Because the whole thing about this thing, now the fight for resources. Because we want mandate a power, it tries people and want benefits. You see, so if you make a system where it's equitable, all the regions then get some kind of autonomy in how they govern the people, then they go help. The next thing what Kenya do, they make sure say the judiciary was independent. People, when Kenya began election dispute, they go court. And the judges were not influenced. Then the final thing where I think say they also do, then public appointments in Kenya, like even the Inspector General of Police and all that, it's open to competition. When they interview people for them job, then they advertise them, all man apply, then they actually choose the best person for the job. So the problem with most of them with African countries, now this thing that you get that dictatorship when a one man is responsible for everything. Like when the president is responsible for appointing all the top place na the country, the people the way they appoint, they owe their allegiance to the man we appoint them, not to the state. So we have to look at the governance system. Then one. Then also when we form the regional bodies here, when they go, then they go meetings and everything. We get all kind of communicate under ECOWAS on governance system and all that. But we know they practice them. So that's the problem. You see, so the regional bodies there for day, like by now, sir, when we talk particularly about the president, say whether if intervene or make a statement about Guinea, diplomacy not go allow him to do that. Right? He could do it, but he not go want to do that because of diplomacy.
Okay.
But now he get right for convene a Mano River Union meeting as one of the countries the way, because if we look at the history in Salone, when Ebola starts, it come on our neighboring country. When war starts, it come on our neighboring country. So if we neighbor they're not comfortable, it will be a concern to we.
So yeah, that is where I'm coming. So my question
it should be a concern to us Salonians because
yeah,
we're very porous border.
My question then to you was there was a claim that was made by this Guinean president Conde say the vice president of Sierra Leone they interfere into the elections. But we know nobody say nothing, we know no respond, then talk they go lay complain, and they want we vice president for stay away from the elections and say this and that and all that. So we hear a couple of weeks ago that he
then
was
again. Nadanda go say, I also look at the role of the parliament because in parliament we get a committee we're responsible for look after the activities of the foreign affairs ministry.
Mm-hmm.
I would have expected when that statement they be made, where Guinea be make that statement, like with Foreign Affairs Committee and Parliament, nothing where they for looking into. They could have called the vice president or even invite the ambassador from Guinea for like a make statement and clarify that point.
Mm-hmm.
Not for just sit up because Parliament is that day for. This is something we will take very seriously. Because if a neighboring country
why I bring up so. Mm-hmm.
A senior member now will government interfere in the election, it should be the concern because if trouble is spill over to Sierra Leone, now we all go suffer.
Yeah.
So that's why I think we should be concerned about.
Right. And
if
what
the president no one make a statement,
mm-hmm.
Parliament should.
Yeah, because they are neighbors and we get for concern. If it can they reach over to we and we people they don't go through so much, we don't want any of that for happen again, And I mean we see all the madness and the craziness and the leaders just have to do the right thing. I mean, do the right thing for the people. That's what we put on our inside. The right thing not hard for do, but some people they forget. And you talk about say you believe, say, President Bio being come with good intention. And honest to God, in my beings of being, I do believe that he came with good intentions. But then he got influenced by other people around him that they just take over and just they do whatever they feel for do. I'm not saying he's a perfect man because I believe sometimes God gives people a second chance, and I've said it and I will say it again. God gives people a second chance for can redeem or whatever been don't do mistakes where people don't make. God can always, we believe in divine, gives us a second chance. The universe give we another chance for make we fix it. And I believe, but then and sometimes as you see certain things that go on, you get discouraged because the social media is so full of all kind of stuff, and it's kind of scary. And to the person within at the village, when not get a thinking mind of his own, where mind still know what's in and call all them things and they na chaos, na recipe for chaos and confusion. But then we have people that are getting paid, like ministers, information, whether they put out information to the people, they are not doing their jobs. And so we continue to have all the stuff. And the people perception is reality. How the people see it. That's why we say this is the voice. It's your view. How you see it is your reality. I try for influence you, for let you try for see I'm a different way. You know, until then I do it with love for let you understand, because this is a platform here. With respect, you voice your opinion, you say what you feel, as long as you do it respectfully. Because we are not about chaos, we are not about putting people down, we're about making corrections with love. You know, and therefore fix what is wrong. So I mean, you know, they talk of the speaker of the house, one of the callers.
Yes, I think so. And I think what we're all for concern about. We're all for concern about. And now we for leaders, both the one in a parliament and the government itself. Government can get a right as a member of the Mano River Union for convene a meeting.
Yeah.
For ask for the Mano River Union for look into that. And it's about time, because if any problem being a Guinea, it will affect. Okay, now let's say now the election done, President Condé still retain power. How would his relationship be with Sierra Leone? He don't already accuse Sierra Leone senior politician of interfering in their own internal affairs. And why also Guinea is so important to we now? Because when you look at it, the tariffs in a Salone are very high.
Mm-hmm.
Most people in a Guinea, then they go get the goods there. You know? So then they go affect your economy. So government should, even if President Biono make a statement, but this is being get in Minister of Foreign Affairs for looking into this issue, or more so Parliament.
Yeah,
because that makes sure we get a Foreign Affairs Committee in Parliament.
There is a viewer online. There's a viewer online. I just want to read what he said to you, and if you're going to respond, what he say. He said Guinea is a sovereign state. President Bio has no business in the affairs of Guinea. The nation state is the highest authority in global governance. So, but we join unions. We have unions. We are watchdogs for one another. When injustice is being done, that's why we have United Nations. That's why we have the unions, them where they form. We have ECOWAS, we have African Union, OEU, them they call today, for bring peace. Because sometimes people, even though not they sovereign rights, because they're not the president of the land, but they go over their guidelines where they don't set that, you know, that people get for abide by and try for what's they call. So it is like we are big brother, big sister watching for one another, looking out for one another. What do you say to that statement they where Mr. Ba make today?
Well, the statement we make is in a way, yes, he addressed part of the problem, because let's look at the situation in Mali. When Mali gets the problem recently, the ECOWAS stepped in. They even suspend Mali from the ECOWAS region. Yeah. So equally in Sierra Leone with the Guinea situation, we get the sub-regional body when a Mano River Union. We get the regional body when a ECOWAS. We get the African continental body when the African Union. Now that makes sure we get representative in each of them body and they. I think say yes, if the president self no one make statement, it can instruct the people in the way they represent we in them body and they. After us, when you look at now, it's by no coincidence that the speaker of the ECOWAS parliament is a Sierra Leonean. Yeah. And he was a member of parliament, he was leader of government business.
Yeah.
He could easily bring up that issue there in the ECOWAS parliament and say, well, look, Sierra Leone is going to be affected if something is not done about what happens in Guinea. I think that should be the right step to be taken.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mr.
Not for just their salary, but then go for secret country.
They have to do their job. They have to. Mr. Alusain Kamara, they talk say VOS, is it no more Australia and UK and America no more than they? No, they're not in UK, Australia and America no more, but then get a WhatsApp number where you can call the WhatsApp number, because all them phone number they pay bill for them. But then get the WhatsApp number too, where anybody can, they only sign at the wall and make the phone call. So sorry for disappoint you. You say you're disappointed, but please don't be disappointed. I give you a battle hug. Don't be disappointed. Use the WhatsApp number if you cannot call the other number them. So please, that's why the WhatsApp number is there. It is not only for those Australia, America, not just because they get people them think that the Nigeria president condemns Buhari, even though again he mess the go on in country. He condemned the third term of Guinea's president, where they don't put inside in place. So African nations are speaking out because we are each another's watchdog, we are each another's keeper, and for bringing stability and peace in the region, we therefore follow the set of rules that have been placed and agreed upon. We follow. We cannot just change it in the middle of the game because we're not like waiting the happening on one for real selfish reasons, because that's a recipe for chaos and disaster and nonsense and rubbish. And that's why the streets, the youths are out there standing up saying we cannot have this foolishness. We mama they don't take our papa, they don't take our granny, they don't take our, but we know they take up. Even in America here, we don't see the slave, we don't make tea from 1800s, today with the first racial inequality. We see what happened when they choke a man for 9 minutes, almost 9 minutes, choke him. We see the advantage. We see the young people jump the streets. And we the all Black Lives Matter, this life matter, but then yet we have problems in our country and we cannot support and fix what is wrong. But yet we entertain other people them problem, but we cannot fix our own problems. So I think we have come to the end of today's show. Mr. Dabo, we get different time zone. Mr. Victor, we get different time zone. I don't know what you are left the people then with, because let we end the show for today. But the problem in your neighborhood, what your neighbor they go through, if your neighbor in Peking they play with fire, you not tell them for stop, you also go burn. I saw a video, Sierra Rutai, some plant, some farm, they burn water, the fire brigade water not even get power. 1 hour they were there, they cannot even turn off the fire. All na corruption, because sometimes the pipe, they don't get water pressure. We not update stuff. Things are not working. All that stuff na corruption. They don't get the proper equipment. The fire, the water, they see where the fire brigade, they pump, the water not even reach the building. The fire keep blazing. The fire, they burn. Because what you do, all na corruption. All na corruption. With parliamentarian, they get for do the right thing. They get for doing the right. And somebody made a comment, Mr. Victor, say the Speaker of the House, it come with a naked picture come out of ethics and behavior of ethics. You talk on that day. But then nobody said nothing to him. But now he's the one leading the fight for somebody who will go talk na BBC. And talk say other person feature, other person or text message. They say they not for call their honorable. That was one of our callers that made that comment. So I don't know what.
Yeah, but even the Speaker, in fact, it come back to the same issue where I always talk about when a governance. Because in the past, and I've been listening to some of these debates in Salone, the Speaker is supposed to be somebody who is neutral with integrity. Now make so we be appoint ex-judges as Speaker. Right? But the moment we don't extend and bring politics into the actual appointment of the Speaker, that is what has caused our problem.
Okay, we have been polarized.
We get for revisit with governance.
So.
Australians, them.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, indeed, because if you want to judge by what they are quoting at the Constitution about behavior of members of Parliament, both within and outside Parliament, that thing never happened to the Speaker, so, right?
Yeah.
Should have been, he himself is not above the law. He should have been disciplined. Because I have a strong belief that by such action, he brought the house into disrepute. So the caller was right in making that particular reference. This idea of, for say, some people and they're above the law, nine are we problem in our country. And even as we say, one thing we're close to home where they talk about, say, when they do something, when we president cancel, one of the first executive order we make, now for say no minister or public official not for book traffic, it was an executive order. Yeah. And him as the president make that order. But what's happened? Was it followed? No. But if the ordinary man broke traffic, police and they be in them. So these are the issues that we have to address. Let for they make people and be a special somebody in the system. Until we go back to say everybody is accountable under the law and we administer with law without fair and favor, people then go abuse the law at all levels. Now that makes sure they get good effect for third term constitutional change and all the rest of it. So now the word down there I will go for telling people in a Salone. Say the parliamentarians then now we then they represent. We get rights for make them know we feeling. And parliament staff for respond and say, well, the people they where they represent and where would they pay we, these are their concerns that we have to address it.
Okay, thank you so much. And it was a pleasure having you on the show today, Mr. Dabo. Like I say Mr. Dabo, I keep thinking Mr. Dabo from Dallas. Mr. Victor, I'm so happy and thank you for coming on the show. Always, your voice is very, very important. Your expertise and your, experiences for share with the people. And I thank you. And I know you're not a stranger to VOS, and I know you never come back on, because you've been taking a break for a little bit, but I know you're ready to come back on, to come, just give your honest opinion on how to bring the change and help guide the government and the people, because it is not only the government, the responsibility is on all of us. All of us as Sierra Leoneans, we get for do we own part. Everybody has a role. It is a state. The world is a state. We all have our own. We own things then for do as citizens, whereas same way so the government then gets, the administration gets this, the civil servant then everybody getting part for play. Everybody doing your own thing, the country, okay. But I say again, the world is going through what is going through. The world they go through right now. It is the test of times. We get for endure. Things are going to happen. Change is going to come. Revolutions happen. That is part of it. Has been in the world forever. Things are going to do, but if the president and the people that are in power do the right thing for the people, by the people, we will not have all the unrest, because only people take to the street when they disgruntled or they feel that they've been underprivileged or mishandled or, taking their rights away, and they feel, they don't strangle them and all that thing. That's why people protest and that's why people speak out. But most people are peaceful people. Most people are human beings. As long as they have the basic needs of life, as long as they have the basic, things, the first thing, I can able to breathe, I feel secure, I get what I eat, I get shelter, I feel loved. That is what we need in life. Everybody needs that. Some people want to be millionaire. Some people don't want to be millionaire. They just want to have enough. And can the people, the government do for the people to do enough? Can our parliament work for the people? We know corruption is there. And in the words of President Madabio, is say corruption is a fight that we must fight, and corruption is a fight that we must win. And together we will win it. But some things that we see are very discouraging. Some things that we see that one person do one day, what's it called? The law they work for one, another work for one. The scale in Sierra Leone says unity, freedom, and justice for all. The scale must be balanced. It's there with the lions there, and it said the coat of arms say unity, freedom, and justice. We will thrive for that. We will work towards that. We will try for attain that for everybody, because that's all human being wants. If you do, it just wants little peace and living world and time reach it go, because we're all getting all these things. Some people make fame and thing go ahead. Look at what's happening in the world. We don't know the next second what's in there ahead of we. We don't know. That's why we gotta love one another. We gotta get the spirit of 1961 Sierra Leoneans. We're loving people. We got to treat one another like we have consciences. How do we sleep at night with neglecting needs of people and enriching we self and we family them? How do we sleep at night for no there's a mother going to bed holding a sick child with better Dr. Nabi, knowing that there's a child from morning to night past even tell where mama come on and market to go get 10,000 leon, they can cook, blow fire for let them waiting and call. How do you sleep at night as politicians and lawmakers and people? Them these are the needs of the people. We want to feel secure. We want to feel that we have fair share of everything. Let the people that work hard get paid for working hard. Who that deserve for get them. Not just because let them merit and let them work for them. Not because na me, na you brother, me, na you sister, I give you just because. You know, I mean, these are things that from where a small where I get sense, you know, I get an Attorney Rogers of blessed memories. He can come up from a college, he come to me granny, who sit down after I do it, then talk, then talk of the problems. They say the struggle continues unabated. But we are hopeful. We are hopeful in our lifetime. We will begin to see gradual change. We are hopeful. That's why we are here. We're hopeful. When I will not give up. There are times when I don't want to do this no more. I'm emotionally drained sometimes. I don't want to do it. But because they impact certain things and certain people, they make a difference, I have had people that say, oh my God, you're doing a good job. Thank you. And that keeps me going. That keeps the fire burning. I'm humble. I stay humble. I don't want to do this. I'm tired. There are times like I just want to say that's it. Because you hear social media, you hear, oh, there's love. Go light somebody's candle. Go give somebody hope. You know, let we do to things them that Sierra Leonean causes. To whom you give your money, so who you give your power to. Let's do that. Let we support one another. Let us support. Let's go look at social media. We just bombarding ourselves, naked pictures, everybody cursing everybody. There's no dignity. There's no love. It hurts when you can see something and somebody want to bring somebody down, just want to bring you down and drag you to the muds. But we are all sisters. We are all Sierra Leoneans. If you don't know, say you not come on at one country, say because we believe in God Almighty, we say you are your brother's keeper. Look out for me, because the good you do will come back to you. The bad you do, I watch a little video, will stay with you. And we want to do good, so we'll be happy. So till next week, I left una like I say. If I shine today, una not jealous me, because where you see so. I work on me on for let me shine for me. Go work on yourself tomorrow, the sun will shine for you. But stay positive. It is a stressful time. Very stressful. But this too shall pass. That's what they say. This too shall pass. That's the word of God. This too shall pass. We go through trials, we go through tribulations, and this is what they call plague in the Bible. It has come. Some people are going to die. That's for sure. But we pray to God, none of us will come up missing. We pray, but it is the will of God. Let the will of God be done. But let we do the right way, my people. I love you all, and remember, God is love. Till next week, it's me. By God's grace, I'll come back. I salute you. Thank you, and thank you again, Mr. Victor. Thank you. I don't know if you get last word for people before we go. Okay, I think we are done. You don't get.
Thank you very much for having me. I will always be at your service.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Many more times we will call upon you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right. Good night, people. Good night, VOS. Love you all. Without you, there's no VOS. So now they make VOS, kind of VOS. I love you all. I love you. Love you. Thank you. Thank you, people. Thank you.